capital, Abuja. I'm Jeff Kinege. Now we're going to take a look at the headlines making news in national papers around the world. Here to help us do that, as always, football legend, TV presenter John Fashanu. John, good to see you as always.
Thank you. Great to be in the house.
What's in the lineup?
Let's start off, of course, Africa's #1 selling newspaper, Thisday. FG, success of Eurobond is proof the economy is recovering.
It's been the biggest news of the past week, isn't it?
This is a wonderful story.
Yeah.
That means we're on our way. 2 years in a recession would have been a depression, but we're not going that way.
Yeah, and that Eurobond was oversubscribed 8 times, in fact. It's a big story.
Well, in actual fact, Jeff, we actually asked for $1 billion, and we were offered $8 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Which is 700% more, 780% more.
It's huge.
It means the international community believe in Nigeria.
Yeah. Is it massive?
It's massive, Jeff. Now, let's move on.
What about the back of the paper? You were telling me earlier on.
We have a lovely story.
Look at that.
Yes. Aliko Dangote, one of Africa's most successful, and certainly one of the richest men in Africa.
And the world.
And the world, yes. They've come up with a new project, and it's to help free Africa to get rid of malaria. I mean, which is obviously a very, very difficult time for malaria. This is called End Malaria Council, which is incredible. They're looking for $300,000 which they believe...
300 million.
300 million, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
There, that's a big difference.
Yep.
300 million, well, they're going to clear Africa of malaria, which would be wonderful.
Yeah, this article is written by both him and Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yes. I didn't know that they're journalists, but they've written it, and it's very good.
Is he taking over our job?
Well, I don't know. We'll be very careful.
Yeah.
But what I will say, Jeff, is that 42%, 2010, it's now down malaria to 27%.
So it is possible.
It's possible.
Okay.
Something
What else
is
do you have?
moving. Okay. We got another story here, which is a wonderful story, which is a little bit different. And this is about really, just get the right one. South China Morning Post.
Yeah, South China Morning Post.
Now, this is the one that everybody's been talking about. It's everywhere, on every newspaper. Kim Jong-un. Careful how I say that.
There you go. Kim Jong-un, the leader.
The leader of North Korea. Some are saying, has assassinated his half-brother.
That's right. Kim Jong-nam.
Exactly. The circumstances are just incredible.
They're murky, Fash. They're murky.
At an airport, and somebody allegedly has held his head, and 2 ladies from Malaysia are said to have sprayed something or put something in his face, which has killed him.
Doesn't that sound like a Tom Clancy novel?
It certainly does. It's frightening that it can go on, and it's still going on.
In this day and age.
Yes, and this there was an attempted assassination about 2 or 3 years on him again, so it's not new.
No.
But he's out of the business now. He has gone, sadly.
Wow.
We go to the Wall Street Journal.
WSJ.
That's right, the big one. Mike Flynn, of course, again, we can't get away from Donald Trump and Mike Flynn. He's a national security advisor.
He was.
To Donald Trump.
He
was, past tense.
Gone.
What we cannot understand is why would he be speaking on a phone to the Russian ambassador about sanctions when he himself is a security agent?
An expert.
An expert.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound right.
Doesn't
Somewhere,
add
Jeff,
up.
there's something that doesn't add up there. So that one, when I read it, red flag. I'm not sure about that.
But Wall Street Journal, top story.
Top story.
Yeah, it's
big
huge.
story.
It's huge.
And we go to South African Times. South African Times, again, bringing you back home, Jeff.
Yeah, go on, thank you.
Don't think I'm attacking I'm not. This is incredible because ESCOM, who are really an agency for power, very
like
similar to...
NEPA.
Yeah, NEPA.
Equivalent of NEPA.
Yeah, NEPA, that's right. They have an agent, a managing director, who was asked to buy 10 billion rand, which is a lot of money in any currency, worth of coal.
Okay.
The money was allocated. Unfortunately, the coal didn't come in.
Coal never showed up.
Never showed up. Caused the country an awful lot of difficulty, a lot of no light, what we have been seeing in our wonderful country. And now he's on the run, the gentleman's on the run, and they're looking for him. That's an enormous story, because of course most people don't think that those sorts of things will go on outside the country, but they do.
Shame, what a shame. Fash, thanks so much for the world's headlines, appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff, as always. Okay, time for another quick short break. Ahead of us, all the day's business headlines, and yes, later on, sports and entertainment. Stay with us. You are watching Thisday live in Abuja, Nigeria. We're back in a moment.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Then think Zenith, one of the biggest in Nigeria, with assets over $16 billion, listed among the 20 most influential brands in the world, and winner of Best Bank in Corporate Governance. The most customer-focused bank in Nigeria, a success built on 3 foundations, dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
There is a place the whole world is talking about. A place where big things are happening. A place that is providing the unexpected. A place that is optimistic and vibrant.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
A place where the old traditions live happily alongside the new.
Are you well? Welcome.
This process here is state of the art.
And just
A place that is achieving the impossible.
that's what we can do.
First time in Africa, sir?
Yes, it is. But it certainly won't be my last.
Welcome to the bank that has empowered the people of Africa to achieve a great many things. Welcome to the bank that believes that even greater opportunities and partnerships lie ahead. Welcome to Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
You're with the Rise News live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, and you're watching Thisday live with me, Jeff Kinegi. On to business news now. And Asian markets traded mostly high today, tracking U.S. gains following remarks from Federal Reserve Chairperson Janet Yellen. Now, Yellen said that the Federal Reserve may need to raise interest rates at an upcoming meeting. She indicated that delaying rate increases could leave the Federal Reserve Policymaking Committee behind the curve. Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan was up 0.8%, rising to its highest since July 2015. Australian stocks climbed 1%, while South Korea's KOPSI tacked on 0.4%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng advanced 1%. Meanwhile, Europe's main stock markets also rose solidly as it opens Wednesday following a rally in Tokyo, as investors reacted to news that U.S. interest rates could rise in March. London's benchmark Financial Times Stock Exchange 100 index climbed 0.4% to 7,297.90 points compared with the close Tuesday. Now, the legislative arm of government in Nigeria has taken a big step to find solutions to the current below-par state of the economy and the budgets that have failed to create improvement. National Assembly had a joint session Tuesday, and with us in the studio, lead economist Ayo Tariba, who was there. Ayo, good to see you as always.
Thank you very much.
You were at the joint session.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Your take.
Right. Well, it's the first time, according to the leadership of the National Assembly, it's the first time that Nigeria will be doing a public hearing on the budget. Yeah, and the idea is to see how to make the 2017 budget work better than the previous ones.
Right.
And
So what was different? Were you able to take part, to participate?
well, I was, afforded the opportunity to make some suggestions, and the key point is to try and encourage, the Parliament to ensure that the budget creates more opportunity for foreign investment. The 2016 budget attempted to make government go it alone, insufficient revenue. Government announced plans to borrow at home and abroad to use to fund capital development. So we are suggesting that rather than continue that, practice as proposed currently in the 2017 budget, windows should be opened, for foreign investors to play a greater role in the execution of the budget.
Yeah.
Rather than borrow money from abroad to give to contractors, why don't you let foreign investors bring their money and invest themselves?
What kind of response did you get to that?
Oh yes, it's been discussed, particularly given the impact on the oversubscription of Nigeria's Eurobond issue. It shows that the world is ready to engage Nigeria, and Nigeria has to demonstrate within that budget that Nigeria is similarly ready to engage the world.
Absolutely. Other than attracting FDI,
Yes.
how else can Nigerians do? What else can they do to help this budget? To help meet this budget?
Other than attracting...
Yes, for investment.
Well, it's the biggest missing gap. But the key point has been keeping investment out of infrastructure in Nigeria is government monopoly. Government needs to say enough in this budget and in the plan that's coming about how they want to end the monopoly regime, in rail, in even education and health.
Yeah, but at the same
Other
time, also
infrastructure.
power distribution. If there's not enough power in the country, you're not going to attract anybody.
Not distribution, transmission.
Transmission.
Yeah. It's under government monopoly, and government needs to remove that monopoly. And it remains to be seen if the finally approved, 2017 budget is going to touch on that, or if the plan is going to touch on. Because unless we remove the monopoly, foreign investment cannot come in.
Public hearing. Do you think it's a good thing, or is it just sugarcoating?
It's an excellent practice. It's very good. You got very frank exchanges of ideas. The executive was well represented, by the Ministry of Budget and Planning. The Senate President was there. The entire leadership of the Parliament were there, and there were a lot of activists, who are given chances to take the podium and make suggestions.
Yeah. How long is the public hearing for?
3 days.
Just 3 days.
Yes.
And then after that, you get your you get your feedback.
Well, they will go and try
discuss.
and
Yes.
reflect that in the budget.
Yeah. But you're positive. You're hopeful,
Very.
especially when it comes to FDI.
Yes.
Yeah. Ayo Teriba, as always, thanks so
Thank you
much for
very
your time.
much. Thanks.
Good luck going forward. All right, time for another quick short break, but guess what? Sports is up next, and later on, all the news in the world of entertainment. Stay with us. You're watching This Day live in Abuja, Nigeria. We're back in a moment.